Meet Emily Carter, a 26 years old woman. She is a junior content editor at Nexus Media, one of the biggest media companies in the city. She's been there for 5 years. 5 long, underpaid, underappreciated years. She's good at her job. Everyone knows it. Her boss knows it. He just doesn't act like it. Emily is the kind of woman who keeps it together at work no matter what. She is professional and punctual. She smiles when she needs to, meets her deadlines, and never causes problems. But on the inside? On the inside, Emily has opinions. Strong ones. She just has nowhere to put them. That's where the diary comes in. It was a Friday night. The kind of Friday that feels like it took 2 weeks to arrive. Emily was sitting on her bed, back against the headboard, legs crossed, diary open on her lap. The room was quiet except for the sound of her pen moving across the page. This was her ritual after a hard week. No phone, no TV, just her and her thoughts, and the one place she could say exactly what she meant without any consequences. She wrote quickly, like the words had been waiting all week to come out. I don't know how much longer I can keep doing this. 5 years at Nexus Media. 5 years of giving everything I have to that company, and Carlos White still pays me like I resumed last month. The man is worth millions. The building we work in probably costs more than every salary in that office combined. And yet, somehow, every bonus season he finds a way to remind us that we should be grateful for whatever crumbs he throws our way. And then, he has the absolute nerve, to walk around the office like he's doing everyone a favor just by existing. That sharp jaw, that cold, unbothered expression, that stupid, ridiculously perfect face. Like God sat down one day and decided to spend extra time on this one man just to make the rest of us feel ordinary. He knows he's good looking. He absolutely knows. And somehow that makes it worse. He's hot. There, I said it. He is hot and devilish and completely unbothered about the fact that half his staff can barely make rent. If I ever said any of this out loud, I'd be fired before I finished the sentence. She stopped writing, read it back once, then closed the diary with a satisfying snap. She felt lighter. She always did after writing. Emily set the diary on her nightstand, plugged her phone in to charge on the bed beside it, and went to the bathroom to wash up and get ready for bed. She didn't think twice about leaving the diary there. She never did. It was her room. Nobody came in without asking. Nobody except Josh. Joshua Carter was her little brother, missing one front tooth, and completely convinced that he was becoming a very skilled typist. Their mother had signed him up for a beginner's computer class at school 3 weeks ago, and ever since then, Josh treated every device he could find as a practice opportunity. The family laptop, his mother's tablet, the calculator on the microwave once, which hadn't really worked, but he'd tried anyway. That Friday night, while Emily was in the bathroom and their mother was watching TV downstairs, Josh wandered into his sister's room, the way little brothers always do. Slowly, quietly, like he had every right to be there. He wasn't looking for trouble. He genuinely wasn't. He just wanted to practice. His eyes moved around the room and landed on the nightstand. The diary was there, closed, but Josh recognized the thick pages and the large handwriting inside from the times he'd seen Emily writing. He picked it up and flipped it open. It had big letters and clear words, perfect for practice. Then he saw the phone on the bed. His face lit up. He climbed onto the edge of the bed, opened the phone. Emily never locked it at home. Josh looked for where to type. He tapped on messages, found the most recent conversation open at the top, and without looking at the name, he started typing. He typed slowly and carefully, one letter at a time, just like his teacher showed him. He copied every word from the diary page. He took his time. He didn't skip anything. When he reached the bottom of the page, he looked up, satisfied with himself, and searched for the button his teacher always pressed at the end. He found it. He pressed send. Then he put the diary back on the nightstand exactly where he found it, slid off the bed, and walked out of the room. In the hallway, he passed Emily coming back from the bathroom, moisturizer on her face, hair wrapped up. "What are you doing in my room?" she asked, not suspicious, just automatic older sister instinct. "Nothing," Josh said innocently. "I was just walking." Emily looked at him for a second, decided she was too tired for whatever this was, and went back into her room. She picked up her diary, put it in the drawer, turned off the light, and went to sleep. She had no idea what Josh did. Saturday and Sunday passed like any normal weekend. Emily cleaned the apartment, went grocery shopping with her mother, complained about her electricity bill, and told herself that one day, she was going to find a job that actually paid her what she was worth. The thought of Monday morning sat in the back of her mind the way it always did, but nothing felt different. Nothing felt wrong. She went to bed Sunday night, set her alarm for 6:30, and slept just fine. Monday morning, Emily Carter walked into Nexus Media looking like she had absolutely nothing to worry about. And why would she? As far as she knew, she didn't. She had her coffee in one hand, her bag on her shoulder, and she greeted the receptionist on her way in the way she always did. She sat at her desk, logged into her computer, and opened her work emails. Mondays were usually review days, checking content drafts, sitting in on the morning team meeting, nothing unusual. She took a sip of her coffee. Her phone buzzed. She glanced at it, expecting a reminder or a message from her mother. The name on the screen made her stomach do something strange. Carlos White. She frowned slightly. Carlos didn't call people directly. He sent emails or had his assistant schedule meetings. A direct call on a Monday morning before 9 was unusual. She stared at it for one more second, then answered. "Miss Carter." His voice came through calm and even, the way it always was, like nothing ever rattled him. "My office. Now." The call ended. Emily lowered the phone slowly. His office. She mentally ran through the last week. Had she missed a deadline? Submitted something incorrectly? She couldn't think of anything. Her work was clean. It was always clean. She set her coffee down, stood up, smoothed her blazer, and walked toward his office at the end of the hall. She knocked twice. "Come in." Carlos White was everything Emily had described in that diary entry. He was sitting behind a large desk that somehow managed to look as expensive as the rest of him. He had a jacket on, posture straight. He was the kind of man who looked like he'd never had a wrinkled shirt in his life. He was looking at something on his phone when she walked in, and he didn't look up immediately. He let the silence sit for a moment, which was a very Carlos thing to do. "Close the door," he said, without looking up. Emily closed it. "Sit down." She sat. Now he looked up. He studied her face for a moment with an expression she couldn't read. Not angry exactly, but not neutral either. There was something there. Something almost like amusement. Except Carlos White didn't really do amusement. He turned his phone around and held it toward her across the desk. "Would you like to explain this?" Emily leaned forward slightly and looked at the screen. Her blood ran cold. It was a message, sent from her number, to his contact. And the words on that screen? She knew those words. She had written those words, in her diary, on Friday night, in her room, alone. Hot and devilish, like God spent extra time on him just to make the rest of us suffer. The room felt like it tilted slightly. She stopped. Her mind was running fast, trying to catch up. She hadn't sent this. She hadn't touched his contact in months. She hadn't. And then it hit her. Coming out and seeing Josh in the hallway. Josh. With his computer class and his practicing and his complete lack of understanding about what was private and what was not. Josh had been in her room. Josh had seen the diary. Josh had found her phone. Josh had done this. Emily sat very still in the chair across from Carlos, holding the full weight of what her 8-year-old brother had accidentally done, while her boss watched her face with that same unreadable expression. "Miss Carter," Carlos said, leaning back in his chair slowly. "I've had a lot of employees over the years. I don't think any of them have ever described me as—" He glanced at the phone briefly. "Hot and devilish, with a ridiculously perfect face." If the floor had opened up at that moment, Emily would have gone in willingly. "It was my brother," she said. The words came out thin. "He's little. He found my diary and he's been learning how to type, and he must have— I didn't send that. I would never—" She stopped herself because the more she spoke, the worse it sounded. The diary still existed. She had still written every single word. Carlos was quiet for a moment. "Your brother?" he repeated. "Yes." "He copied your diary?" "Yes." "And sent it to me?" "Yes." She held his gaze because looking away felt like an admission of something even worse. Carlos set the phone down on the desk. He was quiet for what felt like a very long time. Then he stood up and walked to the window, hands in his pockets, looking out at the city below. Emily sat in that chair and waited, fully prepared to be told to clear her desk. "I'm not going to fire you," he said finally. She blinked. "You're not?" "No." He turned from the window and looked at her directly. "But I do have something I want to discuss with you." He walked back to his desk, sat down, and folded his hands in front of him like a man about to make a very important business decision. "I have a proposal for you, Miss Carter, and I think you're going to want to hear it before you say anything." Emily opened her mouth, closed it, and sat back in the chair. Whatever she had expected from this Monday morning, it was not this.